Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
It is Friday, July 16th, 2010. Bob Chapman joins us for about 40 minutes coming up in the next hour to break down what's happening with the economy, as he does every Friday. And I have all the vital stacks of news and information here in front of me that we're going to be covering. BP claims for the first time in 80-plus days that they have stopped the leak. And I pray that they're not lying, because they've said this at least 3 times that I can remember in the last 87-plus days. So we'll be breaking that down. I was here in the office last night when Aaron Dykes and I were doing research for the full-spectrum dominance eugenics film that we are working on that deals with chemtrails and other issues. And we have come across so much more information that our awareness of the globalist master plan is growing exponentially. Don't think that you ever know everything. The more we learn, the more horrified we get to discover that things are far worse than we originally thought. So I sent the Rockefeller Foundation document over to Paul Watson. He wrote a story about it this morning. And just everything we talk about here, the magnitude is off the chart. I mean, I'm not even worthy to be bringing you information this powerful. And I hope that you pay attention to what we cover here minute by minute, because I've had chills since last night. This just confirms everything else we've already researched. But Rockefeller study envisions future dictatorship controlled by elite, millions being killed, mandatory quarantines, checkpoints, the end of the family, everything that's in the other documents. But this dovetails with all the other Rockefeller Foundation documents about the GMO food to sterilize you and the forced vaccines and the hell we're already living in that's just going to continue to intensify until we take our governments back from these eugenics madmen. But that story is up on prisonplanet.com. We sent this to Watson. I'm glad he did a report on it today. Rockefeller study envisions future dictatorship controlled by the elite. And I want to go through a bunch of other news. Here's Mark Moreno, one of the top advisors to the Republican caucus. So a lot of powerful people now paying attention finally. Population control advocate wanted to sterilize population through food and water. That's Climate Depot. So, of course, we've been covering this for, well over 14, 15 years, but now it's finally starting to become mainstream news. The question is, will you have the courage to really do the research yourself? Because I don't want you to just sit here and hear me make these claims. When I tell you that they're saturating almost all of the major food crops with sodium fluoride, and it concentrates in the food to levels thousands of times in many cases above what's in the water. I mean, 1 part per million is devastating. 900 parts per million in powdered eggs is just off the charts. Total brain damage. And the hundreds of parts per million in many of the food crops now. And that's not just to mention the fact that these crops can also absorb pesticides and are designed to live in pesticides, and that concentrates in them, or that the DNA has been altered to also cause sterilization. I mean, they're hitting us on so many fronts. And I've got all the government reports admitting that the births, year by year, they're studying that human DNA is being damaged at a level never before seen. We are being mutated. And many of us that are able to even think and operate today, our children, their children, and the children after them are going to be deformed monsters who are literally drooling basket cases. But, of course, that will never even get to that point. They plan to exterminate all of us long before then. It's just an absolute fact. And why do we have to sit here and fight with each other? Government bureaucrats, police, military, everybody. I mean, we're all in this together. It's a tiny elite, less than 6,000 globalists in their own analysis that rule the planet. And look, I'm going to get into all the news coming up in your phone calls today. It's just, This is so horrible. They're collapsing the economy so they can take control of us through the government healthcare system and soft kill us. Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633. The Fall of America and the Western World is an all-new 10-hour documentary and survival guide rolled into one. In this film, you will see the reasons why our government is failing and what you can do to prepare. Featuring Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Joseph Farah, David Icke, Naomi Wolf, G. Edward Griffin, Doug McIntyre, Mark Crispin Miller, Mickey Z, Doug Casey, David McElvaney, and myself, Alex Jones. Protect yourself and get the tools you need to protect your family from these difficult times. The Fall of America and the Western World at www.thefallofamerica.net or click on the banners at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Again, that website's www.thefallofamerica.net or call 800-655-1577. Prepare yourself and the ones you love today. Fallofamerica.net. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
We now take you live
to the Central Texas Command Center
in the heart of the resistance. You are listening to The Alex Jones Show.
It is Friday. We cover the real issues here on this broadcast. I'll be back, of course, this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. with the abbreviated Sunday transmission. Again, I want to thank you for joining us. I want you to know that I do have a great weight on me. With knowledge comes great sorrow, the Bible says, but with knowledge also comes the power to be able to protect yourself and your family and to have a healthier society. When we don't struggle for a more just and pure society, and when we stop recognizing good from evil, we always see the decline of civilization, and the most wicked, the most abusive, the most sadistic, the most psychopathic take control. I want to get into eugenics today, coming up later in the hour and throughout the broadcast, because there's been a lot of information coming out, even in the mainstream media, just further documenting everything that we discuss here. And I want you today to really meditate, to focus, to cogitate, to think about the issues we're laying out here. We are living in the middle of an orchestrated collapse. The United States has been in a major depression. Many more economists every day come out and admit that that is the case. Even Yahoo Finance today is admitting that all the numbers show that the middle class is being eradicated and that globalization is the cause. And they call it a nasty side effect. No, it is not a side effect. If an executioner walks you up onto a platform and puts your neck in a noose and pulls the lever and the floor falls out from beneath you and you fall 6 feet and the acceleration snaps your neck, that death is not a side effect. Death was the goal. And the reason the orchestrated financial collapse is so important is it ties into the government health care, which in the globalist-owned documents and statements is meant to set up a genetic dictatorship, a dictatorship over life and death, government-sponsored and pushed euthanasia, one-child policies. Being dependent on these psychopaths, these people who like to play God, being